Oh, hello, I'm Burt Green. This is the Burt Locker. This is the MMA show. Basically, this is a recap one. I do my picks. This is the first recap one I've done in a while. I've been hella busy. And yeah, but I watched the UFC St. Louis, and there's a few things that are worth going over. A couple of things happened, and obviously, there's a few things to look forward to. There were some people that did fantastic on the mic, and there were some people that did terrible on the mic. And possibly, we had a star born and a hype train derailed. So I'm going to be going through all things UFC St. Louis over the next 10 minutes or so. Right. So yeah, the main things that I took away from the UFC St. Louis was the ladies that I'm a big fan of in the UFC both won, so I was very happy. Veronica Hardy and Tabitha Ricci both got into the win column. Couldn't be happier about that. Honestly, their fights were okay. Were they setting the world on fire? No, but win's a win, and they were both really good. The other main things that I took away from Esteban Ribovic, the guy. He was the guy that cost me on my £6,000 accumulator on UFC. Like, what was it, 190, 291? I think it was. Yeah, UFC 291. Either way, um, there was only one result that went the wrong way, and I'd bet against Ribovic, and he actually managed to win that one. It was a decision, and it was a close one. Now he won at the weekend. Wasn't a decision though. He starched Terence McKinney with one of the most vicious head kicks that I've ever seen. You should definitely go look. Just type it. If you didn't watch that, it was buried in the prelims, right? So if you didn't see it, do yourself a favor, like just go onto YouTube, type in like Esteban Ribovic KO of Terence McKinney, and thank me later. It's more the aftermath of it because bless him, Terence McKinney he got hit so hard that like he crumpled, like he just sat down, and then he kept waking up, and like the referee was like trying to like talk to him. He kept like just waking up, and then waking up. I'm like, whoa, whoa. And then it was like, you ever seen that video? Those girls are like on those fairground rides where they get launched up into the sky, and they're like, ah, and they pass out because of the fright, and then they just keep waking up and going, ah, and then it was like that. Um, Look, Terence McKinney, I'm a big fan of, so I'm not like talking trash or nothing like that, but it is what it is. That's what happened. Tell you what, Esteban Ribovic, you might want to keep an eye out for this guy because he's this is what he did after. I don't know what that means, but look, radio time or something. Hey, I can get behind radio time. Yeehaw! Anyway, Chase Hooper also is another kid that just jumped out on the car for me because I picked against Chase Hooper in this one. I thought Vyacheslav Borshev, Slava Claus, they call him, fighting out Team Alpha Male. The bloke is a stud, right? Fantastic striker. I knew that Chase Hooper was good on the ground, but I thought that Slava Claus was going to have too much for him. But man, how wrong was I? Good lord! Like Chase Hooper really put it all together. That was a standout performance as you could kind of get. The first round could have been a 10-7. He clipped him and knocked him down, and then just proceeded to dominate him on the ground. And then eventually he got the submission. Like the Borshev was disputing the submission, but come on, like basically you saw his arm go round, and he definitely went on his back. He did it one time. You don't have to tap more than once. That's something. It's a common misconception. People are like, "Well, he didn't tap. He just tapped once." That is enough for a tap, by the way, because what he was sneakily doing, he might not have mentioned it. Look, whether it was intentional or not, like what he was trying to do there was touch Chase Hooper so that he would release the hold, and then maybe hope that the referee didn't see the. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that he definitely did that intentionally, but that's the kind of thing that can happen, which is why any kind of a tap like that you have to call it, and it was fair dues really. Chase Hooper, keep an eye on him for his next one because he just seemed to just look so good. And yeah, very interesting. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Salsa Boy, derailing the hype train of Robeles Dispain. Now, Dispagni. Yeah. Anyway, look, Robeles, he's a monster on the feet, but And I had him winning that one because I did say several times that I thought you put him against a good wrestler, we're going to see how good he really is. Wilder Acosta is not renowned as a wrestler, and he was able to take him down and dominate him at will. So I think that hype train might be kind of dead. The other standout performances, Diego Ferreira put a real nasty beating on Mateusz Rebecki. That was tough. That was a tough watch. Carlos Olberg starched Alonzo Menefield in like the first few. I think it was like the third fastest knockout in light heavyweight history in the UFC. I've been saying keep an eye on Carlos Olberg. He could be like a Luke Rockhold, but good. I'm kidding. Luke Rockhold was really good, by the way. Like he was one of the elite. But I'm just saying, like model good looks and just a vicious kickboxer. So that's that. He is an Australian, well, New Zealand Luke Rockhold right there. Then you had the co-main event. Shaquem Buckley looked phenomenal. He almost looked Mike Tyson-esque when he's like stalking down Ruziboev. Like when he's getting on the inside, just throwing with power, shooting power doubles, just dominating. Absolutely phenomenal performance. And then he decided to ruin it all. Just ruin it all by doing one of the cringiest, worst post-fight interviews I've ever seen in my life. He's quite an entertaining fella, but he went, and I don't mind like the entertainment and him being like flashy and all that because it's fun. Like, and I want to see that out of fighters. However, his call out was garbage. His call out was absolute bullshit because he's just like, oh, I've got one. Michael Bisping, he likes to give these fighters an opportunity to call their shot, to make their call out. And that's what they should be doing. And you can't be wasting those kind of opportunities when you're in the co-main event and you've got eyes on you, you've got those eyeballs on you. He stands there and he says, yeah, Mike, I've got one guy on my mind. And I'm thinking, Bilal Muhammad? Interesting. You know? You've got like, you've got Colby Covington, you know? They're Shavkat Rakhmanovs. Obviously, yeah, that's a bit of a hard one. But look, you've got quite a few names there in the welterweight division. Maybe even Leon Edwards himself, you know? But no, he decides to go and say, I know you've got a fight lined up already, but Conor McGregor, you're fighting an inflated lightweight. Come up here and fight a real. I've been, and he says something about, I've been reading up your family's history, and your great grandfather was a hoe, and your great grandmother was a hoe, and your father was a hoe, which means that you come from a long line of hoes. And if you don't acknowledge my call out, then we're going to have to just assume that I'm completely correct and that you just come from a long line of hoes. One of the dumbest, cringiest things I've ever heard. It's not even it's not clever. It's not clever enough to even be disrespectful. It just made you look like a fool. It was a waste of a call out. Why don't you call out Colby Covington or someone that's still relevant in the Gilbert Burns? Do you know what I mean? Any of those people, Belal Muhammad, any of those people are the people that you should be calling out because you could have gotten one of those fights. You are never getting the McGregor fight. Do you know why McGregor hasn't responded? It's not because he thinks that in any way, you know, it's not because he's bothered by what you said. It's because he doesn't know who the fuck you are. He doesn't. Who the fuck is that guy? Part 2. That's what that was. Fucking terrible. Do better. Do better with your call-outs, man. You could have gotten a good fight next, a really good one. You probably still will. I'm a huge fan of Buckley, but that annoyed me because it was a waste. And then you move on to Derek Lewis versus Nascimento. Derek Lewis gets another emphatic knockout. He hit him so hard that he kind of stumbled. He shook the octagon. It was unbelievable. Derek Lewis doing Derek Lewis things, right? This is the man. He's an absolute treasure. And he just needs to be given these fun, marquee fights in main events because he is going to be missed when he is gone. Make the most of Derek Lewis whilst he is here. He is old school because do you know what he is? He's a fighter. He isn't an athlete. He is a fighter. And there is a big difference between those two things. He just goes in there and he throws down. He would be if he wasn't in the UFC, he would be standing, bouncing a door somewhere. He is that legit. He is the real deal. He is as real as it gets, per the I don't know if it's still their slogan. It could be, but it was once. Anyway, Derek Lewis knocks this dude out, proceeds to take his shorts off, fans his unconscious opponent with his shorts just to try and be nice, just to help him kind of come round a bit, takes his cup off, throws that at the Spanish announcer table, and and then when he's interviewed, he's so effortlessly, what's the word? He's just himself. He's just genuine. And he's so effortlessly funny, and he doesn't bother with his ridiculous call outs or being fake. He's got credibility. He's the way that he was kind of talking, like, it's so funny. It could have been a comedy sketch routine, because Michael Bisping's just like, so yeah, who do you want next? He's Mike, I sit my black ass down. I talk about what's next. Come on, man. Okay, let me have a rest first. He's just like, I'm getting too old for this shit. And then Bisping's like, you told me you're in your prime. He's like, yeah, I said that. But come on. And yeah, it was a fun moment. I want to see more fun moments from Derek Lewis. The man is a treasure, because there's going to be no one else like him once he hangs those gloves up. So let's hope he doesn't do it for a little while yet. And so that's about all I've got time for this week, talking about the UFC. I might do a quick video looking at the boxing this week, because it is one of the biggest boxing fights of all time. Well, at least in the last 25 years, all of the belts on the line. The first time in 25 years, Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk is, fantastic fight. I'm not as big a boxing expert. I'm not an expert on anything, let's be fair. But I am at least interested in it, and I'll probably want to talk about it. So I'm going to look at that in the week. And then you've got Edson Barbosa taking on Leroy Murphy. That's actually a very interesting fight. I'm going to be looking forward to that one, doing a casuals guide and possibly doing some bets. And until next time, keep the odds long and the bets terrible.